After over 25 years of marriage, we've learned that successful couples have great friendships, put each other first, and focus on light just as much as love. We believe marriage should be fun and easy.
Our goal is to share our journey with the hopes of helping others build strong, happy relationships. Join us as we continue to create our lives beyond I do.
We are not marriage counselors, nor are we mental health professionals. We're just simply sharing y'all how we navigated through our marriage. Now, on with the show. Now, we continue with part 2 from our previous episode.
So how do you navigate that? You went from self-employed, you feel this freedom, I've had a job that's here or there, but at the same time, it's like, now I have a job that I like. I do have another job as well, but it's like, it's a little serving job that's not going to suffice for my bills at this time,
Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
You're 26, right? What do you see yourself doing at 30? What do you want to do at 30? Where do you see yourself?
Ideally, I'm going to say either this music takes off somewhere or have a business of my own.
Doing what?
In that business, I would like to either do a bar or own a restaurant. I started bartending in the last year. So I do. Oh, why are we shaking our head? No. Oh my God. Wait, what's happening?
Restaurant's the number one business to close.
Okay, well, let's start with the bar then. Is that baby steps? Okay, there we go. I like you.
Well,
Oh.
Are you asking my professional advice? I want to hear everything you have to say, and then I'll give you my
professional
opinion.
And personal is fine, because I did start to want to go into wean into the bar, so that way, because I know restaurants are one of the hardest businesses to maintain. I have done my research in these last years while I've been struggling. So once I do make that money and make that jump, I don't want to make the wrong business move. So of course I've done my research on restaurants, bars, and everything in between. But is a bar a feasible first business attempt? Because my goal is whatever business I open, I don't want my workers to ever have to feel like I felt, to where you need to have 2,000-3,000 jobs to maintain yourself. At the end of the day, if it's something server-based, your tips are going to depend on your attitude, but we can do a bit more than 213,
Well, let me put it to you this way, babes. I definitely believe in multiple streams of income. So regardless of what you do, make sure that you have multiple streams of income. Like, how I set up my life is I always have my sure thing. Like, I know I'm getting this check every 2 weeks and then whatever the hell else. And, I do that. Now, I would like to say to you, I love entrepreneurs. That is my heart. But remember, if you're going to be a business owner, you need to be a business owner. You can't be half pregnant, right? So you're going to do it. You got to do it. Meaning that, let's go back to your example of Uber, right? If I were doing Uber, we'd get an LLC. I would, what you did doing the driving and all like that, that's great. I love the fact that you got your own clients. I would have probably tried to capitalize on that, maybe get my own little website, have people book me, like really try to get out there and have my own car service. You know what I mean? Then if you have your own business, the advantage of that, aside from the fact that you can itemize and write up all your stuff, and oh yeah, by the way, the corporate tax rate is lower, you can lease a car in your business, child. Free game. Okay. So that's just another idea. So there's that. If I were going to go with the bar thing, I would, because here's the thing, right? Let's use an example that everybody knows. If I'm going to become a beautician or if I'm going to cut hair, I'm not going to all of a sudden one day open up a shop, put out a flag in the front and say, I'm doing hair. Anybody come in? Who the hell are you? Nobody knows you. Right?
Right.
It's the same thing with any business. Mm-hmm. So you want to start your way there in increments, and that's how you're going to walk there. If I were you, I would start as maybe being like a party bartender or something like that. You know what I mean? Your parents having a little backyard thing, have your cute little sign with your Cash App so people can tip you, do your mixologist, do your drink of the event, that kind of stuff, build your clientele, and then be a bartender, unless you just want to go work at Fridays. But that's not entrepreneur, right? We think an entrepreneur bartender. Then you can go and have a bar and stuff like that, because then people know you. You've got to build up your clientele before you actually putting your money on it.
I spoke to somebody about doing like a bartending, like batch cocktails type of deal where I like make the batch cocktail for them. And then maybe even as far as getting around the laws and legalities, I don't open the bottle. I just send it with maybe like a little bow on top in a box, drop it off to them or whatever, so do like a batch cocktails for big parties and stuff. Do you think that would be a good way to kind of get your foot in the door?
Two things can be true, right? You can do that. You can bartend.
And I still bartend as well. I've been bartending for almost like a year. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You can do gigs and bartend at people's parties, like all of it. Do all of it. And then, but I would do all of it. But also that would be because I'm chasing dollars. At the end of the day, you really want to research. And this is where it goes back to using your mind. Get on the internet, research, see what those killer bartenders are doing. What do you like? What areas are they in? What kind of money are they making? Like, what was that show that the girl in DC won, the black girl in DC? And they were like full blown cooking as bartenders. I was like, oh. And that's not really my thing, but I like the show. It was on Netflix. It was a bartending show. Check it out. I mean, you might get to the point where you're on one of those shows. That's how people get notoriety. And it is this bartender,
Thank you, Ms. Kandice.
In terms of a restaurant, I would not do a restaurant, but if you want to, go right ahead. I would start as a food truck. Those are a thing. It's less overhead.
Yeah.
I would start catering. I would do a food truck and then get you a restaurant, because that is less overhead, less money you got to come out with over the top, because what you don't want to do is be paying for empty walls.
Right.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You want people to be like, oh, I can't wait till they open in this new location. Like, perfect example. I don't know if y'all watched that show, Welcome to Sweetie Pies, out in St. Louis, Miss Robbie and them.
I watched a few.
Even though Tim was doing way too much.
Yeah. And now he doing a lot.
He doing a lot.
Way too much.
Time.
He got a lot of time to think about what he did.
He was doing way too much.
Oh, yeah. But
one thing though, people was waiting for Sweetie Pies to open.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? That's what you want to do. Like, I went to St. Louis, stood online for 90 damn minutes to get a piece of Miss Robbie fried chicken.
Was it worth it?
Was it good?
The food was good.
Okay.
However,
but
as a business person, just pure as a business person, I love to see Black people doing good. Could not understand why the hell y'all have a line out the door, and then when I get up there, you running out of stuff. You had time to fry more chicken.
Absolutely. You had time to run to the grocery shop. Chicken. So while we're on the subject of food, and because my inner fat child runs things, that's when Gladys Knight had her restaurant in Atlanta.
Son.
Yes. Let me tell you how angry I was. Because we ate there one time.
Was it good?
Ma'am, we talked about when we were going to go back and get, and it was like within a couple of months is when it closed.
When now that Gladys Knight's son did what he did, I was ready to drive up there and find that Negro.
Right? I just needed a good 2-3 minutes because the food was wonderful.
Well, at least you had it because you didn't bring me with you.
Of course not.
So I'm going to put you onto this spot in the hood in Atlanta called the Busy Bee Cafe. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I watch the Food Network for places to eat.
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to go there, but if I ever do, like, there's this place in South Carolina that I found on the Food Network. They make this 12-layer coconut cake. It'll bless you.
You know what? See?
It will bless you because I've had it twice.
That's why I hadn't had no activity. I hadn't had no activity on my
Let's bring some. So in our interview, we talked about you being divorced before. And during your entrepreneurship, we know you faced some challenges during that time. So what was the transition period like going through the divorce and then still being an entrepreneur, still building your career, still doing all these things, and to where you are now? How was that?
Ooh, I love that question. That's a really great question. So I will say this to anybody who is listening.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is relative, and I'll explain why I'm saying that in a second. Okay. And that's number one. And number two, I am a firm believer that if you really want to do something, you will do it. Right. And so I really wanted to be an entrepreneur. I really wanted to call my own shots. I really wanted to be out there. So I made it work.
Okay.
And there will come a time in your life as an entrepreneur, even as an employee, you're like, do you really want to do this? Right. So to answer your question about when I got a divorce, I was a consultant, meaning that I worked for myself, had my own LLC, but I was a contractor under another company's large contract. Right. So even though I was an entrepreneur, right, I had somewhat of security because I was on a long contract. And I was very grateful to be on that contract for 3 years.
Wow.
So even though I was an entrepreneur, I had my guaranteed money, assuming I didn't go in there and cuss nobody out, for 3 years.
Right, right.
Yep. I'm so proud of you.
How
hard
was it for you to not cuss anybody out? On a scale of
you know what? I am very professional, and I have learned over time to hone my sophisticated savage. We can talk about that at a different time, but I am wonderful at telling people to get bent in a corporate way.
As per our previous email.
There we go.
You learn how to cuss and
stuff. I.e., what I said was.
Cuss no more. Like, I would just tell people, so the reason we're having this meeting is because I told you X, Y, and Z. You didn't want to do that, so we're having a meeting.
I literally have this meme saved.
And then look them right upside the head.
There we go. I literally have this meme saved on my phone of professional cuss outs.
You got to stand in your own truth.
Oh, yeah.
But see, here's the other thing. Mm-hmm. It took me some time and some, these folks need you to be here to be able to do that, right? You can't just be new to the farm and be pissing everybody off.
Oh, right.
There's that, right? I pay my dues, and people know what I bring to the table. And at the same time, I'm always very professional, but we ain't going to talk crazy. Right? Because if you gonna talk crazy, I'm gonna talk crazy. It's gonna be us talking crazy.
I match energy.
So I remember I started at a new contract. This is post that contract that we were talking about, and I had a woman. She actually linked me on Teams. She was really rude to me and aggressive in a meeting, and I'm like, "What the hell? We just met. Like, what is this energy about?" And she goes, "Well, if you're new here." You came off very rude. And I said, you did too. I look forward to working with you. Maybe our next interactions will be a little different.
Yeah.
Right.
You did too, dear.
Ma'am.
And that's the part, they don't be expecting that.
I like that
you
they don't expect that.
They want us to go.
They
really want that. Like when you don't.
Oh, and you, baby, they try to push your buttons.
Oh yeah. Just so they can cry after you give them what they asked for. Mm-hmm. And that's
so. To answer your question, while I was going through those transitions, I had to make sure that my money was together. And I always felt like, from the very beginning, from when I decided that, we're going to go and get divorced or whatever, I didn't want my kids' lives to be impacted. And I understood that, a financial impact, it is not their fault that I decided I wanted to get a divorce. So I can't be like, oh, you can't go to dance lessons. My son can't play AAU. Now, I was about to sell ass when he was playing AAU because that junk was expensive. But
Look, ma'am. Dad, I tell you, that is the biggest hustle.
Oh my
I
God.
got to pay you for the baby to play.
You a real mama.
I got to buy uniforms.
I'm out.
And then I got to go to the games
Wherever
and
the
pay
hell,
to get in the
wherever the
games.
hell that bitch is, you got to travel.
3 hours away, child. Oh, Lord.
3-4 hours, then you got to get a hotel.
Look,
Then you got to pay to get in the damn game, whatever the damn game is.
it makes strange for change look a little less strange. It makes it
And
look a little
then when them some bitches say, well, you got a game at 1 o'clock, then we got another game at 7. What the hell am I supposed to do between?
Right. I had to check out of the hotel. What you want me to do?
You want me to?
I got to pay to be in here.
Let the younger one step in real quick. They ain't lying, y'all. Them fees is exorbitant. Oh my God. I just
Trying to tell you.
Oh. Go outside and play with that ball. Go pick that ball outside, please.
We don't need no AAU. I ain't had no AAU. We had the hood.
There we go.
Ball going out there.
Look, I take you to the park. What time you want to go? We can go every day like you got practice, baby.
Yeah, all right. Let's get back. Let's get back to go.
But those are things that, I never thought about the fact that, like you said, you didn't want your kids to be affected any more than they would be with the situation. So it's one thing, of course, my whole life is going to change, but now you're telling me I can't even go play ball anymore. I can't do this. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my petty ass had already gone around the house and taken all the pictures of him down. So.
Oh my goodness. Blank spaces on the wall.
We got other pictures. We just gonna put up other pictures. Yeah. This one has been retired.
Mama, where's Daddy? Why we got cousin Ray picked up here all of a sudden?
Your kids knew. Look, they know their parents.
You see me, you, and you. That's all you need to worry about.
Quit asking questions. You know why.
Oh my God.
That's good though. I want to commend you for that. I don't think a lot of divorcee parents take that into effect. So I want to, commend you for that because I don't think a lot of them.
Thank you for saying that.
Definitely.
Well, unfortunately, I am a child of divorced parents, and so I had a template, and I felt like my parents acted like jackasses about a lot of things, and I didn't want to do that. Now I'm just keeping it a buck. Like my parents were like, damn, Tom and Jerry. You couldn't even have them in the same room. Like
Tom and Jerry was all I needed.
Like literally.
My parents, when my mom said we're leaving, baby, I started packing. I didn't know where it was going. I didn't know what day we was going, but I knew whatever the day was, and whenever we were
whatever
leaving,
it was,
I was ready.
It wasn't this hell.
I was ready. It was horrible. It was horrible. It got to the point when my parents finally divorced, and they reconciled before my mom passed. But, I was in church with my dad one day, and they called for any birthdays or anniversaries. They called for birthdays. People stand up, sang happy birthday. Then they had a little anniversary song, asked for anniversaries. People stand up. My dad looked at me and he said, "The anniversary of my divorce passed. You think they'll recognize that?" Sir, sit down somewhere. He said, "Well, it makes me happy. Sit down somewhere." But they had a tumultuous relationship, so I was so glad to be leaving. I didn't care. Me and her could have lived in a box somewhere. I didn't care. I just wanted them to be away from each other.
That's how I felt as well. I was just like, I definitely remember being younger than second grade, like coaching them.
Wow.
Look, I asked my mom once, and this was after they split up. I was probably about 17 or 18, and me and her going back and forth about something to do for her and this. And I looked at her and I said, "Mom, what did you do before I was born? Like, you were an adult. How did you get to that point?" Because
we had a whole generation of adults that emotionally relied on our children, and the shit is weird.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't talk about that.
It occurred to me when I started with therapy, my therapist said something about parentification of a child. And I was like, no, I wasn't. I was, my needs were met. And she said, if you had a rough day at school, who did you tell?
Jesus.
Look,
Right.
my teddy bear, Barbie doll, because I grew up as an only child. And so the more I talked to her and the more I started looking at stuff, I was like, you know what? I really was. I can recall my mom telling me my dad's mom passed away, my grandmother now. And she and my mom she was closer to my mom and her were closer than my mom and her mom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
When my grandmother took her last breath, my mom said, "You've got to be strong for us."
Ma'am?
Well, huh?
Yep.
Well, what about me? But
I was there then. I'm like,
that was how I grew up. That was how I grew up. It was very chaotic situation at home. And when something happened, I was her sounding board. I was her emotional support until I wasn't.
It just seems like y'all had like a lot of the reverse.
Right, we did.
Jobs.
We did.
And then it doesn't help that Black women are always told to just, be strong.
Be strong and be that.
Take it, don't.
I want to be strong. Being strong is ghetto. I want to be strong.
Right? I want to be weak and I'm tired.
But you know what?
Yes,
The thing of it is, because I like to think of it in totality. It's hard enough getting a damn therapist now. Yes. Could you imagine? They didn't have access to that. They didn't have health care. We talk about it so casually, but I know what I went through for myself getting a therapist, right? Now we're talking about 20, 30 years before us. They didn't have that.
Right. And even now, I think a collective sort of openness for mental health has happened within the last few years of COVID.
No, the last 5 years for real.
Trying to get a therapist 20, 30 years ago, pre-COVID and all this stuff, even if you had the finances for it, Black people would have probably ridiculed.
No. With us, it was taught to Jesus.
Here we go.
I remember sitting up there saying,
Jesus,
white folks go see the therapist. They crazy. I remember saying that. I remember that being like a thought in my head in the 80s. So, but
that was a thing. Like the only crazy people went to therapists, and I think we have evolved past that. But even furthermore, back in the day, there wasn't really no Black therapist. Then there's that. There's no way no Black person was sitting down and telling all their business to a white person. Wasn't no way.
Get to the point now where you have enough Black therapists to
don't tell our business.
You can talk to.
We don't have enough. That's another area where we definitely need more therapists. But like my therapist and I, we have a standing appointment Wednesdays, 8:00 in the morning. And I tell everybody, because of him, I am. But like I say to him all the time, I couldn't imagine having a white therapist because they have to explain stuff to him because he understands the culture.
Right.
I'm like, I would be so exhausted if I had to explain to you what toe up meant.
Oh my God.
You know what?
Right. Yeah.
But
what do you mean by that?
I'm hurt, bro. It's like, never mind.
Every other Wednesday. And I try my best. If I have to rearrange, if I have to try to work around, and when am I going to see you? What you mean? You know when you're going to see me. This is not
like, boo.
You are saving lives.
Baby, we need to talk.
Huh?
Now, let's discuss it.
All right, for our Let's Discuss It segment, we're going to pivot big time.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going to pivot big time. So when we did our interview, we talked about some of the bad dates that Miss Kandice had when she was newly divorced and excited, and they just popped her excitement bubble. So we've asked her
we're going to talk about them DMs.
to share her top 3 bad dates.
And maybe the next time we get you on another time, we can talk about a few more.
Okay. So probably the first date that I went on after I was divorced was probably I would say number 3.
Okay.
So let me explain. I now have a list that I compare Negroes against, because that's what only one I date. No, I have a list. I have a list. And have questions that I ask very early up front, because I've learned that you can't assume stuff and you need to ask questions. So this was at the very beginning. Well, this was the man who made me realize that I need to ask men, are you married?
Oh, wow.
Because it never occurred to me
that
a full-blown ass married man living with his wife would ask me out on a date.
Oh, wow.
That's so sad that you have to ask.
Okay.
Baby. Right. I didn't know this was happening out here, you know? So, oh yeah, by the way, one of my other rules is you don't date people at work. We talked about this on my pod.
Yes.
70% of people have dated somebody at work, which I found to be absolutely wild. I was like, what y'all doing? Because ain't nobody even fine at my job.
Look.
Where y'all work at?
She got one.
What?
Go ahead and tell yours. I'll tell mine.
You dated somebody at work?
No.
Look, we've been married.
Y'all bugging.
Wait. Okay.
Well, okay. Let me. I learned that my first job when I worked at Burger King in high school. I worked at a Burger King. I started talking to this young lady that worked the drive-thru, right? So the location of my Burger King was in the zone of my high school.
Okay.
Burger King in that area. So of course, every now and then I'm gonna see
your friends
that that I went to school with. So this young lady didn't go to school with me. So every young lady that comes in there, hey Byron, how you doing? Who is that? Who the hell is that? And I'm on the fries like,
damn, we toxic in BK already.
I can't even put the damn Whoppers in right. You know what I'm saying? So I learned then. And then,
no, you don't deal with nobody at work because it's too much pressure. So that was number 3.
And put me on the drive-thru. So when they put me on the drive-thru, that's when it got worse. I would be at the drive-thru talking to one of my homegirls from school, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Giving them the money, and then I feel the pinch in my damn side. What the hell is you pinching me?
You got a grandma pinch?
You were a full-on abuse victim.
Yeah.
Yo, toxic ass Burger King relationship.
All right, so number 3 was the married.
Number 3 was married.
Quick question. Yeah. How did you find out he was married?
He talked about it. He told me very casually, like I knew, because he didn't wear a ring.
Okay.
You know, oh yeah, me and my wife. Nigga, what?
Oh, you
what?
Yo, who? What? Okay.
So you on a date and he like, yeah, me and my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Check, please.
It's like, first of all, listen, I laugh and I joke, but I do not play. I'm dead serious. I mean this with every fiber of my being. I don't deal with folks' husbands. As far as I'm concerned, you asking to get killed.
Right.
Not even that. How you get
that's a suicide mission.
It's how you lose. Real talk.
These days, though.
In the ghetto.
Crazy.
No, excuse me.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a suicide mission.
I just had to find out how you knew. Okay, so that was number 3.
Okay, that was number 3. Number 2. So this is after I've been dating a while. So I got very good at vetting. At least I thought I was. But God, men do not read dating profiles. Or if they do, and I can't speak to women, if you're listening and you're saying women don't read them either, that might be true, but I don't date women, so I don't know. Men, they don't read them. Okay? So like I've learned to ask questions up front of things that I already put on my dating profile because these Negroes don't read.
Okay.
I'm very clear that I have 3 children. My youngest is 14. I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I ain't having no babies.
Oh,
she is for recreational use only.
You know what? Look, I see where this is going. This was a true nightmare.
Okay. So the first date, there are some men who are really deranged. They feel like them saying they want to get you pregnant is enticing in some way. And to me, that's a damn threat because I've already told you what I want. Right? You see your face? That's a threat. Want no babies? What are you talking about?
Right, that's not cute.
So then, to take it a step further, clearly all the shit wasn't firing off in his head right. Clearly. Like, y'all ain't never seen me in real life. I'm a big girl. You know, I come from a family of big people. I'm about 5'9", barefoot, right? Thick. This nigga looked at me and was like, "Ooh, you'd make an athlete."
Oh,
Bitch. I mean, sorry.
That's so slavish.
Sorry, Mama.
Right?
Oh my God.
Stand on the auction block. You want to look at my teeth?
Hey, you make a athlete.
What did you even say to
You
that?
GMOing babies? What is that?
You looked at me and said this.
Well, what we doing? Okay.
But wait, it gets better. That was the second crazy ass thing he said.
What was the first
The
thing?
third thing he said, because I'd already decided in my head I ain't going back out with you. I'm gonna just finish my drink right here and then we'll, go about our lives. He was like, "Well, I'm getting ready to buy my kids some phones." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. What kind of phone you thinking about?" He's like, "Well, I don't know, Android or whatever. I'm not sure how my son's gonna use it." Why do you say that?
Oh.
Well, my son was born with a birth defect. I was like, defect? He was like, he only has 2 fingers on one hand. I was like, "You got a goddamn crab?"
You know what?
We got good feet.
Hey, and then you want me to reproduce with you?
You have a crab?
Wait a minute. Was that your fault or his mom's fault? Because you want me to drop your seed, and you want me to have crab, baby. What? So did you finish the drink at that point?
I did, and blocked him on the way to the car. No, baby.
All right. So
Wait.
Hold on.
What was the first craziest thing he said? The best.
There was multiple. Well, he wanted me to have a baby after I told him I clearly didn't want one.
Okay.
Then
he told me I would have an athlete. Then he told me he has a crab already.
you know what?
Yeah, hey. Look at girl. Hey, you know what? I ain't seen you but your face, but you look like you put out a wide receiver. So
You know what? Oh my God. Is that even?
why do you even say some shit like that? I'm like, God, no.
That's flirting. That's
the first day.
That's courting to me.
Boy.
No.
Ooh, Lord.
It has
It's like, first of all, who said I'm even gonna give you something? So far, you ain't getting nothing. Let's just start there.
You finna get this lemon drop, and that's it.
If that
Oh,
if
goodness.
that is game,
Oh, goodness.
if that is meant to like, what do you look like and behave like on your worst day? If this is
This
your
is
best,
what I'm saying.
this is what you're doing to get me. What does it look like when you're comfortable? Because
I'm trying
less is
to
love.
think. I can't.
No, we don't want to think about that.
I'm
We
trying
don't
to
understand
trying.
that. We don't
But
wanna-
wait, it actually got worse. And I want y'all to think about this too. Nah, because I really didn't hear nothing else he said after that, because I was already through. Then I started looking at my hand and was like, okay, if I only have 2 fingers, which one am I gonna say?
I'm not.
Which boy?
If I got the thumb, I'm good.
I'm not doing it.
I was like, which 2 would I take?
I got the thumb. Any of them will work as long as I got the thumb. As long as I got the thumb, any of them will work.
Daddy, can you press calls?
I was like, no, I was like, would I do my
Not
ring
fooling with you.
finger or my pointer? I need a text finger. Like,
I wouldn't
sit
want
there
the
like this.
thumb and the pinky. If I had the thumb,
Oh,
I need my bird finger. I ain't even gonna lie, I need that. So if I had the thumb and the bird finger, I think I'd be okay.
All right, so if you only had 2, which 2 would you pick?
I would want my thumb and my
and
birdie
probably
finger.
the index finger.
Probably her
Oh,
thumb
middle.
and
Thumb and
finger.
index finger.
He was finna
See,
be
you see how nice he is.
thumb and index.
I use my middle finger though.
Me too. He's finna
I
be
love
calling.
it.
He's finna be calling his stepmama on that middle finger.
It's hard to do it. Like
Right?
that's proud.
He's gonna be waving at you.
Hey, mom.
You don't know if he waves or
You
you
know
mad.
he mad or waving.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. So that's
So,
I'm scared
piece
of
to resistance number 1, we didn't actually make it on a date, because let me tell you what happened. This
Okay.
was that's crazy. So, first of all, okay, y'all know I'm light skinned. I don't like light-skinned Negroes. I don't. I like chocolate. It is what it is. I gave a light-skinned Negro a chance, and here's what happened.
Okay.
Reminded me of why I don't.
Okay.
We're talking. And as we're talking, he said something like, why are you single? And I said something like, niggas, because, that's what I'm talking. And he was like, we are too educated to use niggas. And I was like,
even I ain't that militant. I'm going to walk out.
All right. Okay.
Oh my God.
I apologize because, I do understand that there are some people who feel very strongly about it. And I understand and I apologize. I didn't mean to offend you, but we're going to have a conversation about how we're not going to communicate in that way.
Exactly.
Because this is the first time I learned of this sensitivity and that response, unless you have a medically documented reason to respond in that way.
Right.
Yeah, that's when sophisticated corporate savage came out.
Right.
We're not going to converse in that way. Okay?
Right.
Thank you. All right. So we continued the conversation. He pulled himself together. Everything was fine. Okay. Later that same night, I'm out and chilling. I get an unsolicited dick pic with nappy pubes.
That's the one. Yeah.
So
and then
we can't use the word nigga, but I have seen you a picture of my dick.
Here's my genitalia.
So let's discuss the fact that someone should express wanting to see your penis before you just send it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone should express that. There's that.
Well, we probably should meet. that might help.
I'm gonna
get a drink, nigga.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna
see your face. Can we attach you do a face, penis alignment?
Right.
I'm gonna attach my glasses for this one. Miss Kandice, was it even like of satisfactory? Because normally niggas that do that, it's not even of satisfactory.
That's my boy.
For them to do that.
That's my boy.
They effing up the game for us who like, bruh.
See.
Okay. It was okay, but I was out with my girls drinking at the time. So all it is laughter because as far as I'm concerned, all untested penises have HIV. So you know to take that somewhere else.
You know what?
Don't take that elsewhere. So there was that, but then it gets better. He wanted me to send a picture back. I was like, a picture of what? I don't even know you. Are you stupid?
Your fingers.
You know you. And as far as I'm concerned, you reckless and stupid. So there was that. Yeah. But then there's a video of him masturbating like, I can't wait to feel inside of you. I was like, what?
And this is a person whom you've never met.
Well, we can't say nigga, but we can't say nigga.
Person. Right.
So we blocked him and I moved on. I was like, I'll never see him again. It's whatever.
He out here making light-skinned people.
So no niggas
look crazy.
But nether regions are just open.
Oh, wait. I thought I would never see him again. About 3 months later, I was at Kappa event. And guess who was at the registration table right in front of me?
What? Did he?
Oh, he knew who I was. He was jumpy as a hooker in church.
So did he speak to you as if he knew who you were?
He looked at me and got real nervous in the face.
He
knew who I was.
He knew he was wrong. Said, you look familiar.
What's up, pink tip?
You should have said, look. Now, what you should have said was, oh, yeah, I remember.
Well, get the phone and what's up?
Hey, the audacity in real life.
The audacity.
To go from a conversation.
And we wasn't even talking about nothing sexual, just regular stuff. What you like to do for fun, my nigga? Like regular stuff.
Right. I can't even wrap my head. Like, that's so childish. And to think that grown people operate that way.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
And this chick's having a problem with telling a man what you do for a living. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo,
Wow.
it is insane. Like, you don't. And here's the thing, though. To play devil's advocate, I think there are people who respond to this because otherwise they wouldn't do that. There's number one. But then additionally, we had another guy, a different guy. We'll give a bonus round. We talked for a little while on the phone. He seemed like a decent guy. He had a decent government job or whatever. He would not take me on a date because I would not send him naked pictures of myself. Like, fuck out of here.
What? Like, to be a grown person and to have that mentality, like, that's
was he
scary.
Black?
I only deal with Black, sir.
Okay, so I feel like, okay, I know I'm getting that vibe from her, but I feel like this is a testament to where, like, I'm having this I told my friends the other day, like, it seems like Black women are a lot more willing to go get the therapy, get the help, get the this, get the that. It's just when you see these real life situations pan out, like, you can't be a healthy Negro in your mind and your first thing is, oh, we talking, ain't nothing sexual. Let me send a dick pic. Something is
right. Women versus Black men.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
definitely.
Okay. Right.
Like,
yeah.
women seem to be, and even in terms of what Black men want, Black women seem to be more willing to work with them than vice versa. At least from what I see.
First and foremost, men, period, are.
So men, period, are, what did you say?
Period, are very immature.
Yes.
So, from a guy-to-guy basis, I don't have that discussion, but I can see some young man in his 20s or 30s, whatever, having that discussion with his boys. But what I can't imagine is what is in your brain that makes you say, you know what? I think it's all right for me to send a damn dick pic to a woman I just damn met. And then I'm going to send a video of myself.
Everybody 40 and up. Everybody's 40 and up. Don't deal with under 40.
So in that aspect, I'm like, so what, who raised you?
And even more scary than that.
But it's
these are folks' fathers.
They have done that to some chick, though, and she has accepted all that.
But if they have kids, they're raising someone else.
Yeah.
That's their part.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
My goodness.
Like, the things I've heard, aside from these men, like bonus round, there have been men who's just like, yeah, because one of the questions I always ask is, why are you divorced? And I've gotten into it with men about it because some men are like, well, that's not your business. But I'm like, listen, I don't need to know the details of who shot John. But if you ask me, I tell you, I need to know your level of honesty. That's number one. But I also need to understand your thought process and your level of accountability. Because if you're telling me it was her.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Kevin Samuels is into.
Right. Because there's nothing that's always one person's fault. Right. One man tell me, I don't know why I married my ex-wife. I wasn't even attracted to her. So, I cheated on her the whole time. Okay, next. Boom.
I see.
You're a shitty person to me.
That more so.
Yeah, no.
Then I can appreciate that more so than telling me the faults of said person.
Yeah.
Like telling me.
Oh, baby, they be ready to run it down.
Right, but telling the faults, because if you are giving me a laundry list of what this person did, then I'm immediately gonna think that you are a woman beater, because
yep.
You have to have, like you said, two people have to have shared responsibility in there. Even it doesn't matter how it started, there's shared responsibility in it. And if you're telling me it was all her, that tells me that you might have been a little bit abusive.
And even then, I think she's not even wrong.
Or narcissistic.
I know some people will say, oh, that's an overdramatic response, but the line between verbal abuse and physical abuse, it's very thin at times. Like
sometimes physical abuse.
And even if somebody can, like when I look at like the situation with, just for example, using my generation, Tori and Megan, when I see how people respond to stuff like that, it makes me feel like, okay, so how would you respond to Margaret? How would you respond to Keisha in the hood? Who this happens to? So it's more than just that person that it happened to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
We still live in a patriarchal society. You can't get by past that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that trickles down to every aspect of life. And it's sad because with Black men, it's like they play into that patriarchal part, but then they're also excluded because of systemic racism. Yeah. So it's like almost when, you know, situations where you have a child who's being abused by a woman, by the mother, because the mother is being abused by the father. So it's that type of thinking, like, yeah, I get that, you know, the situation that you're going through is not ideal, is not good, but that doesn't mean that you come to me and I'm your sounding board, your
and also I think there needs
punching bag.
Yeah, and I also think there needs to be room, because as Black men, I think we don't see that while we can be abused by the system, we also abuse our women. Like
that part.
Right. I think the stats are at 4.5 hours or 5.5 for every hour, for every time that a Black woman is killed. That's Black femicide. That's real talk.
I mean, the 27-year-olds know that.
Exactly.
Nah, he's doing his thing.
Like, and I try to be that, being that, you know, and I don't think you should have to take after, you know what I'm saying? I get both qualities from them, don't get me wrong, but being that I take a lot more from my mother physically and how we think, we butt heads a lot because we think so much. And I don't think Black men should need that relationship with their mother to sympathize with Black women, but I think it's been helpful in my journey as a Black man that is self-respecting and wants to hear Black women.
No, I definitely think it impacts it a lot. You know, one of the things that I've had to learn and add to my rule list, you got to ask these Negroes what their relationship is with their mom, because if they don't have a good one with their mom, they will spend their whole life making your life hell.
Exactly. And let me say this, before you say that, we have all went through our stuff as a family, but I have never taken out what me and this woman have went through with Black women. You can ask any Black woman I've come into contact with in the grocery store. I make friends with them. Not shading you, I'm just saying, you know, this is where the Byron comes into effect. You know, I make friends with them. I am nice to them.
Have you considered law school? Like, he definitely has that advocacy in him. Not social worker, not social worker.
We've been saying that since he was, because he was all.
What about law school?
We call him loophole. That's our little loophole. Because you could tell him, son, you can't go outside at night.
Oh, I would.
And he would stand on the porch because technically I'm not outside.
See, now I'm Black, so
him.
I ain't trying to do none of that. But,
okay, so that's the key of what law is. So, like, what we doing, sir?
I know, right?
We'll get on that.
I mean, just put. I felt that in my shanana. Just, you know, I felt it.
We'll get on.
Okay, so before we get out of here, okay, give 10 things on your list that you would look for as far as questions you ask.
10. Her list might only be 3.
Of what? What we talking about?
10 things.
About your list.
10 questions you ask the guy. Like,
I got about 25 of them. I got 25 of them.
I knew you were
that thorough, but I just want 10. Your top 10.
Here we go. Top 10.
Okay, the top 10. Well, one of them I told you about. How's your relationship with your mother?
Okay.
Tell me about your most significant relationship or relationships and what happened.
Okay, that's a good one.
And then my follow-up question would be, would you do anything differently?
Right.
Tell me about your relationship with your children. The one thing that was solid with the dude that I'm with now, he's amazing. He got my attention because I've asked that question quite a bit. Tell me your relationship with your children. And he's like, I love them jokers. They get on my nerves, but I love them.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of Negroes that be like, see, what had happened was, and they mama and all this kind of foolishness. And my thought is this: if you will leave them and they came out of your body, don't stand a snowball's chance of hell.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So there's that. What do you believe?
That's a good one.
I learned over my journey that I used to be more like, and no shade to anybody who is not Christian, right? Believe what you want. But for me, I need you to be Christian. We need to be on the same page in terms of that. Because I found that a lot of men who say they're spiritual, they not. They just talk shit in the barbershop. and they say the Lord's Prayer when somebody died at the funeral. Like, that's it.
What is it? Good morning, Queen.
Yeah, no, that's a red flag right there.
Not good morning, it's Grand Rising.
Grand Rising. That'll get you blocked.
Yeah.
Grand Rising.
I need to understand about your spiritual walk. Like, we need to be aligned in that. Do you smoke? I don't know smokers. Like, if you do cigars every once in a while, that's cool. But weed smokers need not apply.
Oh,
Do you drink? If so, how much? We definitely need to understand that. And we kind of get to the questions of what you do. And for me, it's not so much about money per se, but the Bible says money answers all things, right? But I'm too old to be doing some struggle love shit. I just need you to be able to take care of yourself.
You say, baby boy.
Right.
You need to be able to take care of yourself. That's number one. But number two, you need to be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I've come to find out potential has an expiration.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And it hits around my age.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you haven't realized some successes, men, they're built differently. I think for women, it might not be as true, but I know for men that if you haven't realized some successes in your life, there's a level of esteem that you're not going to have. They're going to be a little bit deflated. They're not going to be good on themselves. And I'm a go-get-it entrepreneur. So I don't need somebody who's in my house who's mad all the damn time because I'm out here doing the damn thing. And you can't figure out where to get started.
Hell hath no fury like a miserable man. I feel like we say that quite a bit about scoring women, but a miserable man, he gonna piss everybody off in that nursing home because his kids don't want to deal with him, his family don't want to deal with him, and nobody else.
Man, you got to go do that again.
Yep.
What about me?
Said,
what about us?
Oh, you gotta go to another show?
Man, you got to do something else.
Never choose a man based on potential.
Yes.
No, you can't.
and
and
even if her and Gail.
I ain't got nothing to do with her.
Exactly. We don't care.
I mean, aside from the potential thing, that's something else that's important. It's not a question that I ask, but it's something that I definitely make sure that I observe.
Yes.
Make sure you're watching exactly what the person gives you. Don't make no excuses. If there's something you have a question about, ask a question. Don't make no assumptions.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But they are exactly what the hell they show you.
Exactly.
And you better accept it.
Yeah, they are exactly what the hell they show you. One of the best pieces of advice that I got from a friend of my family that has been invaluable to me. He said that his father told him as he was growing up, when you're picking a mate, make sure you go to their house and look around and see how they live and how their family is, because that dynamic they're going to recreate in your house. That'll preach itself. That's a fact right there.
Yeah, you're right.
I've come to find out that is so true. So, that's my 2 cents. Those are the things I look for.
Well, the one that you have, he has to check off boxes and be a magnificent individual because I know you'll cut him quick.
Babe, are you a magnificent individual? Space. Like, don't include me on this shit. So let me tell you about this guy. I will tell you about Mike Kiva. It's not gonna be on a damn thing. Shit.
We'll edit it.
We'll edit him out.
Hey, why you put my name on the thing? You don't want your hoes to know about me?
I've got fools.
Well, since you said it, that's probably the number one thing I like about him. He talks shit just like me. He can definitely keep up with me. The number one thing, I think the first thing that I noticed about him that I really liked is he laughs and he smiles. Do you know how many Negroes don't laugh?
Right.
Yep.
I mean, like, he has such a pleasant general disposition about him. He really is the person that I thought was not possible. It was, just kind of that song, how that song said, you let go and you let God. he is the man that I didn't think was possible. Child, I was so ghetto when we went on our first date. I didn't even put no makeup on. Just, I got off a plane. He was like, you want to go? I was like, fine. I wore the same damn thing that I had on the plane. Like, I didn't even change my clothes or nothing. I was just like, whatever. Let's see what this Negro got to say. He was so ghetto. It's like, now I look back at it. Now I'm like embarrassed, right? 17 Sundays later. We still counting. 17 Sundays later. He won't leave.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's so sweet. Hang in there, brother. You got your strong black woman.
Look, after what you had,
they said, hang in there, brother. You got to have a strong backbone.
Look, after what you had been through, you were shell shocked.
Yeah. Be quiet. Listen, they don't know all that. Mind your business.
Oh, black love. That's beautiful.
We love it.
No, but like, he is just so kind. I could show you September 1st of this year. I made a list of the qualities that I wanted in my man, and he has them all. Even being over 6 feet tall, I was petty about that thing.
Well, I mean, you're 5'9", so I can understand that.
I'll give her that.
Niggas be mad when they're shorter than me. Like, it's not my fault you didn't drink enough milk. I don't know what to tell you.
It be when it's the women her size that we talk about.
Well, we had to say it like that, though.
I'm just saying.
Listen, there's a short supply of tall men. That is the only thing that pisses me off. Date who you want, but there's not enough talls. Like, listen, the team tall girls like me, I don't want Gary Coleman.
You know what?
I want Gary Coleman. I don't. But those be the niggas that be like empty in the barrel, like they shoot their shot.
Any man that I can look eye to eye, that's look. Because if something pop off, I don't know if I'm protecting you or you protecting me. So I can't do that. I'm 5'1.5", sir. And if you and I
5'1.5",
yeah,
5'1.5",
yes,
4'11".
No, not at all.
Oh hell no, she ain't no
4'11". Prince,
United Front, y'all.
And Cat Williams. Those are the only two beings. But other than that, I don't know who would be protecting whom. So
baby, look, it's nice to have a tall little athlete, but it's from the body, right? That's the petty part. That's the part we look at. Just generous, kind, considerate.
Yep.
Like, I don't have to explain every damn thing to you. Intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Emotional intelligence. Like, those things are huge. And it's like, I told you, I listen, you can be an athlete, but if all the shit ain't firing off right and we ain't got nothing to talk about, then what we gonna do?
Right.
Yep.
And for me, I know I'm a little bit of a sociopath. I sometimes I have to check with him. So that's where he comes in and balances me out. And I have to ask him, should I be upset about this? Am I right to be upset about this? Because I go to anger.
Yes, me too.
And I sit in anger and I think of, well, I'm just going to have to cut this person off and I don't care. And then I talk to him and he's like, well, baby, from this perspective, blah. Oh, okay. So we're not supposed to be that way. Okay. So he balances me with that because I'm not the nice one.
I get that as the person who is also not the nice one.
Right. So I get that.
I get that.
You know what? This is the thing that y'all talk about y'all not the nice one. And you guys are very pleasant. I think that a lot of times you try to mix stuff up because of it's how I had to hold on back in them days because I wanted to be that strong person.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's just like you breathe easier. Mm-hmm. You got somebody taking care of you. And it's just like, hey, now I can relax a little bit. But in your mind, you tell yourself, I don't like people. But this is the thing that both of y'all be in the damn store talking to damn people more than we do, probably.
No,
I bet your boy can probably get out of the damn store good, but like, damn, she just running her mouth.
Well, he might
I tell you.
Trying to get home to watch the game.
She ready to go.
I don't care about your day.
She ready to go.
Wait a second. Wait. I got to tell y'all this. Speaking of being ready to go, now I got to take my glass off, tell y'all this shit. I can't wait to tell my therapist in the morning. Child, my best friend got ordained and she got a church on Sunday, right? I was like, ooh, child, they don't know what I know. Praise the Lord, I'll be there.
I'm crying.
What time I'm supposed to start? Shit. If your best friend got ordained, what the hell would you say?
Oh, yeah.
Same thing, probably.
Really? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be like, oh, this church don't know you.
You gonna come to my service? I'm gonna let you do that first.
I'm gonna watch the live stream.
Be like, Craig, mama. Okay.
I'm gonna watch the first service from afar.
Yeah, on the live
stream.
Make sure you don't burst in the flames.
Right. That first service.
But wait, it gets better. The damn organist walks in. 6'3" black man wearing a goddamn mini skirt, pearls, and heels.
No.
Dennis Rodman?
Like, in the RuPaul that we have going on here.
Woo.
What are
not with the skirt on.
They're accepting?
That's what
with shorts at first. But upon further inspection, it was a leather skirt.
Not with the skirt on.
Maybe it was a kilt.
Now the church, the black churches in our day, we knew the piano player was 9 times out of 10 was
gay.
But,
my daddy said
we did, but he had on suit, pants, whatever. Now you got the skirt on, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
I ain't never seen no shit like this in my life before. I ain't gonna hold you.
That piano bench do something to him. That's what my daddy said.
How about he is going ahead? He going ahead.
Nah.
How about look? It's somebody.
Nothing change a man.
It's somebody sitting on that wood. There's somebody sitting on that wood.
Oh Jesus!
He saved now.
He's saved now.
Oh, okay.
Y'all bugging.
And it's Kandice with a K.
That's right.
Get that shit right.
That's right.
Every time you say it on your podcast, boy, I be laughing my ass off.
I'll have to give me some podcast. I'm gonna listen to
you.
Bail yourself out.
Do you know how many damn times I've said Kandice with a K and people spell C-A-N-D?
I believe you.
Yeah. It's probably the same way they say Beyonce. More so than but you know.
My sister's is Kandice. It's with a C, but it's D-A-C-E.
That's D-A-C-E. That's how most people spell it. So when I was in college, I had this guy that liked me, chocolate drop from New Orleans. I'll never forget. It was Valentine's Day. He left me a heart. You know the heart with the little chocolates in it? This nigga spelled my name C-A-N-D-I-S.
He knew his phonics. He knew his.
First of all, my name was on the goddamn door.
He knew his phonics. He didn't know his sight words.
It was on the door. My name was on the door. I was like,
sight word. He knew how to sound it out.
That chocolate tape nasty as hell, dude.
Actually, it wasn't for you. It was for
my roommate who just got ordained. She ate it because I don't like chocolate. That was the strike two. I don't even like chocolate.
Bless his
heart.
My
goodness. Oh my goodness.
Bless his heart.
This was fun, y'all. Y'all crazy. This was fun.
All right, Kandice, we have enjoyed this time with you. We have thoroughly enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
This has been a delight. Thank you for joining us. So if anybody wants to reach out to you, how can you be reached?
Sure. I'm on socials. You can find me, Kandice with a K Whitaker, or the name of my podcast is Bail Yourself Out. We are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Check me out. We are everywhere you get your pods.
Right.
This is Kandice with a K. You can definitely get me. Whitaker with one T, like Forrest.
All right. Well, you know what?
This has been so, yes.
You family. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Beyond I Do podcast.
Please make sure to like this episode and also subscribe to our podcast. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at the Beyond I Do podcast.
And until next time, we will holler at y'all.